You've returned. That tells me something. It tells me you've begun to ask. And once a soul begins to ask, truly, it can never return to sleep. Now comes the harder path. Not just the path of asking questions, but the path of living the answers. For it is one thing to ask, what is justice? What is virtue? What is good? It is another thing entirely to wake each morning and live as if your answer matters. That, my friend, is the examined life. You may have heard me say it before. The unexamined life is not worth living. Many quote it, few understand it. They think I mean a life of thought, a life of words and theories and lectures. No, I mean a life that holds itself to the light, a life that dares to look inward, daily, honestly, without flinching. I have seen many in Athens who live like drifting leaves. They follow pleasure, they follow praise, they follow fear, but they do not follow truth, because they never look for it inside themselves. And so they become many things, merchants, warriors, parents, orators, but never whole, never known to themselves. They live, but they do not live well. So I ask you now, do you wish to live well? Then prepare to be uncomfortable. For the examined life is no easy thing. It is not about appearances. It is not about being admired. It is about being true, even when no one is watching, especially then. The examined life means looking at your actions and asking, why did I do that? It means questioning your desires, testing your habits, facing your contradictions. It means choosing to become rather than just to be, and it requires a strange kind of bravery. The bravery to admit you were wrong, the bravery to change, the bravery to stand alone in a crowd and still be yourself. If you are not ready for this, walk away now. I will not follow, but if you are, if something in you stirs at these words, if your soul has begun to itch in places no comfort can reach, then come, let us walk the path together. There is much to leave behind, and much more to gain. So then, you've chosen the harder road. Good. Now let me show you how to walk it. The examined life is not a grand speech. It is not a marble statue. It is not a thing you achieve once and carry forever. No. It is a daily practice, like tending a fire, like washing the dust from your feet. Let me tell you how I do it. Each evening I find a quiet place, a shaded bench in the stoa, a low step behind the temple, sometimes just a patch of bare earth beneath the moon. And I ask myself 3 questions. They are simple. But if you answer them truthfully, they will shake you. First, what did I do today? Not in grand terms, not was I virtuous, but plainly. What words did I speak? What choices did I make? What did my hands do? Did I avoid hard work? Did I flatter someone? Did I walk past a beggar without looking? I walk back through the day like a shepherd counting his flock, not to punish, but to see. You cannot change what you refuse to see. Second, why did I do it? This is the harder question. Often, we do the right thing for the wrong reason, or the wrong thing for reasons we won't admit. I ask, was I generous to be kind, or to be praised? Was I silent out of wisdom, or out of fear? Did I argue because I sought truth, or because I hated to be wrong? This is where the knife cuts, but let it cut. A soul that never bleeds, never heals. Third, what will I do differently tomorrow? Regret is useless unless it births resolve. And resolve means action. Do not say, I will be better. Say, I will rise earlier. I will speak less and listen more. I will greet my servant as an equal. Small things, daily things, things the gods notice. That is how the soul grows. Now some men say to me, "But Socrates, I do not have time to sit and ponder. I have duties." And I ask them, "Do you eat? Do you sleep? Do you bathe? Then make time also to clean the soul. For what use is a well-fed body if the heart is rotting?" Others say, "But what if I find something in myself I cannot change?" And I tell them, there is always something you can change. If not the flaw, then the direction. If not the desire, then the decision. Even to say, "I will not lie about it any more," that is a step. The gods ask not for perfection. They ask for truth, and you must give it. To them, and to yourself. Let me tell you a secret. Most men fear silence. They fill their days with noise, talk, trade, wine, crowds, because in silence the soul begins to speak, and what it says is often unpleasant, but also necessary. The examined life begins in that silence. It begins when you say, "I will not flee myself today. I will look. I will listen. Not just once, but again, and again, and again, until one day you become someone you recognize, someone you can trust, someone the gods might nod to as you pass. So go now, before the sun sets. Find a quiet place. Sit with your day. Ask, what did I do? Why did I do it? And what will I do tomorrow? If you ask honestly, and act from what you find, then you too are a philosopher, whether you wear rags or robes, whether you speak before kings or goats. Philosophy is not found in the scrolls. It is found in the soul. And you, friend, have one worth knowing. You've sat in silence. You've begun to look inward, and perhaps now you feel something shifting. Maybe you've seen a flaw you cannot excuse, a desire you did not expect, a pattern in your soul that troubles you. Good, that means you're alive. But now we come to the hardest part of all, facing what we find. Let me speak plainly. Most men do not fear war. They do not fear hardship. They fear only one thing, the truth about themselves. And they will do anything, lie, fight, boast, distract, drink, to avoid seeing it. But you, if you would live an examined life, you must walk straight into that fear. And you must not turn away. When I began this path, I too thought I was better than most. I said, "I am more honest than that merchant. I am braver than that general. I am wiser than that orator." But when I looked deeper, I saw a hunger for praise, a delight in outwitting others, a secret pride in my own humility, and I was ashamed. But I did not run. I stayed with it. I questioned it, and slowly the pride became something else. A caution, a quietness, a gentleness. That is how the soul learns, not by hiding its wounds, but by cleaning them in the open air. You must understand this. Truth is not always kind, but it is always good. It does not flatter you. It does not comfort you, but it makes you real. It makes you whole. And the longer you delay facing it, the more falsehoods you must carry, like sacks of stone strapped to your back. Let them go. You may find that you have lied to a friend, that you have betrayed your values, that you are ruled by jealousy or fear or vanity. Good. Better to know it now than to carry it to your grave unaware. I once asked a student, "What frightens you most?" He said, "To find that I am not good." And I said, "You already are not good, nor am I, nor is any man born so. But we may become better, if we face the truth and let it change us. That is the difference. The unexamined man drifts, the examined man fights, not others. but himself. And he grows strong. Do not be afraid to feel shame. Shame is the doorway to humility. Do not be afraid to feel guilt. Guilt is the fire that burns off pride. Do not be afraid to feel small. That is how the soul becomes vast. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to become honest. And honesty is a temple the gods do not overlook. Let me ask you now, what have you been avoiding? What part of yourself do you justify, excuse, or bury? What truth, if spoken aloud, would break something in you? Say it. Say it to yourself. Say it with fear, if fear must come. But say it, and then say, "Still, I choose to walk forward." That is the moment the examined life becomes real, not when you see the truth, but when you walk through it. So tonight, when the streets are quiet and the stars above Athens burn like silver sparks, sit with yourself and speak aloud what you've been afraid to know. It will not destroy you. It will cleanse you. And what is left, that soul made clean, will be worthy of freedom. Let the unwise chase comfort. You chase truth, even when it hurts. Especially then. Now that you've looked within, now that you've faced the harder truths, comes the moment that breaks most men. The moment to choose. Many admire the idea of virtue. They praise it in the temples, paint it in murals, chant it in festivals, but few live by it. Why? Because virtue is hard, and comfort is easy. Comfort lets you sleep in. Comfort says, "No one saw you lie." Comfort whispers, "You deserve this indulgence, just this once." But virtue says, "Do what is right, even if it costs you." And it always costs something. You must decide what kind of soul you want to be. Do you want the comfort of approval, or the peace of integrity? Do you want the praise of the crowd, or the quiet nod of the gods? Because you cannot have both. I've watched men in the assembly vote for injustice just to avoid a moment of silence. I've seen fathers teach their sons to cheat, gently, quietly. Because the world is harsh and everyone does it. They were comfortable, but they were not free. Let me ask you this. If you lost every coin, every robe, every honor, but kept your virtue, would that be enough? If the answer is no, then you have not yet understood the examined life, because the soul is the only thing you truly own. All else can be taken. If you anchor your worth in wealth, what happens when fortune turns? If you anchor your peace in reputation, what happens when slander rises? But if you anchor your life in virtue, then no storm can move you. Now let me be clear. Virtue is not about being liked. It is not about being rigid or cold or joyless. Virtue is not self-punishment. It is self-alignment. It means living in a way that your words, your choices, and your soul all move in the same direction. That direction is shaped by justice, by honesty, by discipline, by compassion, not once, but daily, even when no one claps for it, especially then. There is an old soldier I knew, bent with age, scar across his cheek. He told me, "The hardest part of battle is not the fight. It is standing your ground when every man around you runs." That, too, is virtue. It is not flashy. It is not easy. But it stands, and the gods see it. So how do you practice it? You do what is right before it is comfortable. You tell the truth when a lie would protect you. You give when it hurts. You listen instead of boasting. You admit wrong before you're caught, not to impress anyone, but to become someone you do not have to hide from. And yes, sometimes you will fail. You will fall. You will choose comfort. You will make excuses. But the one who lives the examined life rises each time and says, "Today I failed. Tomorrow I will do better. Not for reward, but because it is right." That is what separates the philosopher from the pretender. Now let me ask you plainly, where in your life are you choosing comfort over virtue? Do not answer quickly. Sit with it. Feel the discomfort. Name it. And when you do, choose again. Choose rightly. Choose cleanly. Choose like someone who knows the gods are watching, because they are. But more importantly, you are, and your own soul knows when you have betrayed it. Let that soul be able to look you in the eye. Let it say, "Well done, you chose well. You have walked far with me, friend. You have asked, you have looked inward, you have chosen truth over comfort. And now we come to the final gate, freedom. But not the freedom men speak of in the assembly, not the right to vote or to travel or to speak without chains. Number Y speak of inner freedom, the kind that cannot be given and cannot be taken, the freedom of a soul that belongs to itself. Most men believe they are free, but they are owned by their appetites, owned by their fears, owned by the approval of others. They are like dogs who think the leash is a crown. They chase wealth and become its slaves. They chase praise and become puppets. They chase pleasure and forget how to be still. But a free soul does not chase. It chooses, it listens, it waits, it moves only in the direction of what is right, not what is easy. Let me tell you what freedom looks like. It looks like a man who tells the truth, even when it costs him friends. It looks like a woman who speaks gently, even when she is mocked. It looks like a citizen who refuses to flatter the mob, because the gods see what the mob does not. It looks like peace, even in poverty, even in death. I have no riches. I have no power. I wear the same cloak each day. I go barefoot, even in winter. And yet I am more free than the kings who dine in marble halls, because I have nothing to defend but my soul, and I guard it well. Can you say the same? Have you sold parts of your soul to be more comfortable, to be liked, to be seen as successful? If so, you can buy it back with courage, with truth, with daily honest choice. That is the true currency of freedom. The examined life leads here, to a place where you do not lie to yourself, where your actions do not betray your beliefs, where no man, law, or misfortune can steal your peace. Because your soul is rooted, anchored, untouchable. That is freedom. And once you taste it, you will not trade it for anything. Not gold, not applause, not even comfort. So let me give you this last test, the test I ask myself each night. Did I live today in a way that made my soul more free or less? Not richer, not safer, not more admired, more free. And if the answer is less, then tomorrow, begin again. This is the work, not a single act, but a way of being. I will leave you with this. The gods are not looking for perfection. They are watching for effort, for truth, for a soul that chooses to walk through the fire rather than hide in the shade. You were not born wise, neither was I. But you can become someone who lives awake, someone whose soul rings clean, like a bell struck by the hand of the divine. Live that way, and whether you die poor or praised, mocked or remembered, you will have lived well. And when you stand before the final silence, you will not tremble, because you will know you did not waste your life. You examined it, you shaped it, you lived it, and your soul remained free.